4 astronauts are preparing for a historic mission.
It is an honor to be here. I also want to thank our families, the Trailblazers, our colleagues, and our leadership.
So scheduled for late 2024, NASA's Artemis II will mark the first manned mission to the moon in more than half a century. It will span 10 days. It'll see the crew travel more than 1 million kilometers. So joining us this morning are NASA astronauts Christina Koch, Victor Glover, Reid Wiseman, and the Canadian Space Agency's Jeremy Hansen, who we spoke with very recently. Good morning and congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you.
The Artemis II mission won't actually land on the moon, we know, but it definitely comes close. Reid, as the mission's commander, can you take us through what Artemis II will entail?
Artemis II will be about a 10-day mission, and our first, we'll launch out of the Kennedy Space Center in Florida on board the Space Launch System, riding in an Orion capsule with a European service module. We'll leave planet Earth. We'll do 2 laps around the Earth. Our first lap around the Earth will be at about 1,000 miles. And then we'll go to a high Earth orbit up to about 38,000 miles, which is farther than humans have been since the 1972. And we'll get an amazing view of Earth as we check out our vehicle systems for about a 24-hour period. If everything on the Orion spacecraft is looking good, we'll get the go from Mission Control in Houston for trans-lunar injection, and we will do 1 burn, which will push us out around the moon. We'll go around the moon on the far side, and then we'll be on a free return trajectory back to our home planet of Earth. It'll be a pretty magnificent ride.
I can't imagine. I'm smiling listening to you describe this. I can't imagine how you feel, having dreamed about this for so long and now getting to say this is what we're actually going to do. During this mission, you're going to spend 10 days all together in this small Orion capsule. It's 5 meters in diameter. I mean, you guys are going to be pretty close quarters. Victor, you're laughing already. Victor, what are the challenges when it comes to operating in that tiny kind of space?
Well, it's a vehicle that's built to accommodate a crew of 4 for up to 21 days, and so we want to check out those systems, the life support systems. We want to make sure that we can drink water and eat food and use the restroom and breathe for 10 days. And so we're going to have to understand how to live in that tight quarters. 3 of us have lived on the International Space Station, which requires you to exercise what we call expeditionary behavior. And so this is going to be a unique expeditionary or teamwork challenge. But, we've known each other for a decade plus, and I think this group is up for it.
Okay, can you explain for us what expeditionary measures actually means?
So we have a bunch of different attributes that we like to, one, select for. Starting before we hire people, we look for these skills, teamwork, self-care, team care, being able to look after yourself so that you can contribute to the mission, but also being able to look after each other, again, in the accomplishment of a singular mission. And so those are things that we not only look for when we're hiring people, but then when we get into the office, we do things like a National Outdoor Leadership School and Leadership Reaction Course, different types of training that puts you in sometimes an uncomfortable position so that you can find out how you respond and also how you can get the kind of help that you need or be helpful to your teammates.
That's the NASA version of plays well with others. Christina, can you describe the training mission for us? What's involved in actually getting ready to do that?
Absolutely. We cannot wait to start our training into the technical details. It'll be starting probably in June after we have a few more weeks of getting to spread the message and meeting the teams that we're going to be joining. So we'll be learning all about the Orion spacecraft, all about the Space Launch System rocket that we're going to be riding, but especially about our mission, which is to make sure that the future Artemis missions are even more successful. We're going to be landing on the moon in the next mission. We're going to be staying on the moon sustainably and responsibly and taking everything we learn and go to Mars. And our contribution is making sure that those are as successful as they can be. So every time we learn about the operations we're going to be doing, those life support systems that we're going to be testing, we're going to be thinking about the future and how our feedback and our work with the teams can make it the best it can be.
It is so historic what you guys are setting out to do, and it's so exciting that you are all a part of it. The primary goal of the Artemis mission, we know, is to establish this long-term presence on and around the moon. And Jeremy, what makes having that presence so important?
Well, for us, it's demonstrating to humanity the things that we can accomplish if we set big goals and we work together as an international collaboration to accomplish them. And so you'll see very strategically that this is about going to the moon, the surface of the moon, and then taking humanity to Mars. It's very intentional that we think big. And it's interesting when you start to look at establishing a sustained presence on the moon and Mars, it comes back to basic needs. And there's a lot of overlap between what we need in the Canadian Arctic and what we need to actually get to the moon and Mars. And so our entire international collaboration, a lot of this, we're going to see benefits coming back to humanity in the terms of basic needs and serving the basic needs of people on this planet. I think that's pretty exciting.
Once the rocket is in the air, so much goes into making this mission successful. In Artemis 1, more of Orion's heat shield came off in re-entry than people were expecting. So, Reid, last question to you. What challenges are you expecting to face during this mission?
We're going to have the challenge of being the first 4 humans to ride on Orion. So it's going to be a delicate blend of operating this system, what needs to change for future missions, and what is good enough for future missions. So I really think that's the biggest challenge for us, is taking this vehicle out for the first time, seeing what works great and what needs to be adjusted for our friends when they go ride on Artemis 3 and beyond. Because we are not finishing at the moon, we are going to Mars, and it's very important to us to get this right.
It is so cool, I have to say, to speak with all 4 of you, Christina Koch, Victor Glover, Reid Wiseman, and Jeremy Hansen. Good luck to all of you. Congratulations. I feel like I'm speaking with a moment in history. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to chat with you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.